All praise Jesus. All praise the King. All praise Yah. Bro, why did we just have a whole session on the back of us talking about the Lord? Yeah, the girl back there manifesting. Hey, she was tripping, bro. She was tripping. Talking a whole bunch of weird stuff. Mad about America. And it was the Mayflower that came over and killed all the Indians and da 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 da. Don't nobody want to hear all that. And she's like, "Oh, well, what do you mean? Blah 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 blah. It's history." And I was like, "Nah, bro. No, it's not. That's a trick, bro. Like you're talking about history. The people that write history are the winners. The winners write the history. And then when it goes down to other stuff, when it goes down to, like people and and all the natives got pushed into the reservations and all this other stuff and all these things, right? That just are not, that just don't make sense. All right, let's keep it a buck. People aren't gonna want to hear this. They're not. People aren't gonna hear this. When you look, and let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bean, bro. Let's keep it a bean. When you look at America, when it goes back X amount of time, right? When it goes back. All the slaves pretty much on the East Coast, right? You got all the slaves on the East Coast. Well, black people, all the East Coast. White people land on the East Coast, just like the black people did a good amount of time before. They get conquered. They get conquered by whoever. People on the Mayflower, whoever. It doesn't matter. Some form of white race. That is cool. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what race. But, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if they were Asian. It wouldn't matter. What happens to the people that get conquered? They become slaves. And that's every culture. You become a slave. It doesn't matter. So you lost your land because you got conquered. You became a slave. All they did was move because they were landing on the East Coast. All they did was push west. That was it. But the difference is they had guns, bro. They had guns. The Indians and the Mexicans didn't necessarily have guns. They didn't have guns like that. And then when you take it a step further, people act like the natives were just like huge, bro. Like y'all act like it was like hundreds upon millions of natives just running around here, bro. It wasn't like that. It wasn't. Yeah, there was natives. Now, are we talking millions upon millions of natives? No, there wasn't. Bro, you got to think about how many tribes of Indians there were. I'm talking about natives. You got to think about how many tribes there were. They were constantly fighting. Y'all act like there was a bunch of men, bro. No, they was constantly killing each other for land, conquering each other, all that. All the Mexicans and all that, they was all in Texas and California and all that. They had, that's why when you look at an old map, Mexico went up the whole freaking West Coast. The whole West Coast was Mexico. But then everybody wants to say, oh, well, they went and killed all the natives and all that. Okay, y'all act like the natives weren't fighting each other for land and resources. And then they were also not. There's only certain tribes that were actual like conquerors and more violent. A lot of them was on like that. Oh, we'll be nice. You just break bread. A lot of them embraced like that, and that's how they were able to get tricked and things like that. People and that's what I'm saying. If you win and you're writing the story, because only winners write the story, because who's going to listen to the losers? Where are the losers? Nobody knows. They lost. Doesn't matter. Yeah, if I wrote a history book and was on some super prideful and trying to make my race look extra powerful and all this, right? Navajo and X amount of Blackfoot, and we just went through the Midwest and just was collecting them. Just like they brought millions of Africans to the East Coast and had to dump X amount off the side of the boat because they died. Bro, what? What? None of that makes sense, bro. And y'all act like it was. Y'all act like it was a bunch of. Y'all act like it was a bunch of white people that came over on them boats. It wasn't, bro. It wasn't. For each boat, you maybe probably had like 400 men. You're talking about 400 men on like a Mayflower or something like that. Let's say there's 4 boats. Bro, that's not that many people. That's not even 2,000 people. And you talking about that there was millions of natives and millions, you know what I'm saying? There's millions upon millions of natives and y'all conquered them with just rifles. Nah, bro. Nah, because they were raised with bows. They were raised with slingshots. They were raised with all these things. They actually know the land. But yet you can have a musket that takes a minute to reload and you're out here collecting trophies. Nah, bro, it don't work like that. It don't. People be foolish, man. Hey, people be foolish. I can't be listening to people. It kind of hurts my heart, honestly. And then she said she wasn't white, but she was white. And it was, oh, this is racism and blah blah blah. It was racism this and racism that. Nah, bro, racism is out. Racism is out. At this point in America, there is rich and poor. There's wealth and not wealth. That's all it is. It's not people have I forgot what it's called, racial profiling. Yeah, I do too. I'll tell you, because I ain't gonna get into it. But yeah, there are certain colors that I don't like being around, and I won't be around. Why? Because they're stupid. They do a lot of their color shit, and I'm cool. People be looking at me like I'm crazy. Nah, bro, I'm not. I know what I'm gonna stand for and what I'm not gonna stand for. I know I can do stuff and have the whole thing fine. Other people be getting stuff shot up and all. Nah, not me. I ain't doing it. Nah, I play it. But everybody want to holler racism this, racism that. Bro, when was the last time somebody yelled the N-word out of a car? And I'm being honest. When was the last time y'all heard that? Bro, when I was growing up, that was the thing. But I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. We still have folks like that. Bro, it's not even like that out in them small towns. It ain't like that. You can't holler racism and everybody can do whatever they want. It's not do whatever they want, but nothing's holding you back. You can't say, oh, I couldn't get this job because a white man held me back. Nah, bro. At this point in America, I would say, I wouldn't say the world, but America, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you have the grit, bro, you can get it. Race should not be a thing. Period. You can't say, oh, they're racist, so I can't do this. Nah, bro. You're not applying yourself. You're not such and such. You don't want to deal with that type of person. That's all that is. It's not racism. I'll tell you what. Race doesn't matter when it comes to men. If you're a man's gonna respect a man. It doesn't matter what color you are. You go to work, you take care of your kids, you respect other men, they're gonna respect you. Period. Race has nothing to do with it. I'm so tired of hearing racism and they're racist. Man, what are you talking about? And then y'all ain't people that experience racism. That's not a thing, bro. Oh man, people irritate me. I'm gonna go home and take me a nap. Man, people suck. But I got my license though. Even though I'm still taking the bus. Saving on gas, you know. Drive when I need to be. Other than that, really don't need to. Meh. But yeah, it's crazy work, boy. I'll tell you. I ain't never in all my days heard the foolishness. Hey, she was mad too. She was mad about it. I'm like, how are you so mad? What makes you so mad? Were you just gonna crash out on the back of the bus? She was saying, yeah, your life is gonna expire, and your mom this, your mom that. I was like, oh, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why are you talking to that man like that? You talking to that man like he want to be good, like you want him gone. He was just talking about he was sober. He's been sober for 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, praise the Lord. I've been sober for 4. You know, you can't just talk to people reckless like that. That's wild work. But yeah, praise the Most High. Give the word of God.